I've always thought of myself as a great cat owner. I love my cat to bits. But it turns out loving a cat and actually getting a cat are two totally different things. And I was honestly kind of shocked when I realized how many things I was doing wrong, completely by accident.
So yeah, it made me ask myself this big question. Am I a good cat owner? I mean, I thought I was, for sure. But then I dug into a little bit of cat psychology, and wow, it made me question pretty much everything I was doing. And here's the crazy part. I learned I was making 6 big mistakes, and none of them felt like mistakes at the time. It wasn't because I was a bad owner or anything. I didn't speak their language, So I wanted to walk you through what I learned, starting with the very first habit I had to change. Okay, so let's talk about why I stopped yelling. And I have to admit, this was a tough habit for me to break. My cat would jump on the kitchen counter, and my first reaction was to shout their name, right? I thought, this will teach them. Yeah, turns out I was teaching them something, but it was absolutely the wrong lesson. See, in my head, my old thinking was that yelling teaches my cat a lesson. But the reality, yelling only teaches my cat to fear me. That realization was a total game changer. I thought I was communicating a rule, like, hey, no counters. But all they were experiencing was this big, loud, scary person. They don't link the yell to the action, they link it to me. And this really sums it up perfectly. They don't learn, oh, I shouldn't do that. What they learn is, this person is unpredictable and unsafe. Think about that for a second. Every time I yelled, I wasn't setting a boundary, I was just creating stress and breaking our bond little by little. I was basically teaching my cat that their safest person could turn scary at any moment. That's not the home I wanted for them. All right, next up, unlocking their inner hunter. Now, this one came from a total misunderstanding on my part. I'd look at my cat snoozing on the couch for hours, and I just think, man, what a lazy, chill life. But I was so wrong. Because deep down, every single cat is a hunter. It's hardwired into their DNA. They have this mental checklist, this hunting cycle they need to go through. Stalk, chase, pounce, catch, kill, and eat. When an indoor cat can't do this, they get bored, anxious, and sometimes even destructive. That laziness I was seeing, it was really just their brains screaming for a challenge. But the good news is the fix for this is super easy, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. All it takes is about 15 minutes of playtime a day. You get a wand toy, you make it move like a little bird or a mouse, and, this part's important, you let them catch it at the end. It lets them complete that whole hunt sequence, and it makes them so much happier and mentally healthier. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you on this one, the hidden water problem. For years, my cat ate nothing but dry food. It's easy, it's clean, my cat seemed to like it. I figured it was fine. I had absolutely no clue I was setting him up for a major health risk. Cat's natural prey, like a mouse, is about 75% water. Wet cat food, also about 75%. But dry kibble? It's only 10%. See, cats evolved in the desert, so their bodies are designed to get water from their food. They just don't have a strong thirst drive, so they almost never drink enough water from a bowl to make up for that huge difference. And what that means is that a cat on a dry food-only diet is often living in a state of chronic, low-level dehydration. And over the years, that puts a ton of stress on their kidneys. It's a leading contributor to kidney disease, which is tragically common in older cats. Just adding some wet food into his diet was one of the best changes I ever made for his long-term health. All right, let's talk about petting. Has this ever happened to you? You're stroking your cat, they're purring, everything's great, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, bam, they bite you. I used to get so confused. I just figured, well, I guess he's just in a bad mood today. But then I learned about something called petting-induced overstimulation. A cat's skin is way more sensitive than ours, just full of nerve endings. So a nice, gentle petting session can suddenly become overwhelming for them. It's like a ticklish feeling that just gets to be too much. That bite isn't them being mean. It's the only way they know how to say, okay, that's enough, please stop now. So the trick is knowing the safe zones. Cats almost always love pets on their cheeks, under their chin, and at the base of their ears. But you want to avoid the belly and the base of the tail. And here's a huge one. When a cat shows you their belly, it's a sign of ultimate trust. It is not an invitation to rub it. To them, that can feel like a betrayal. Learning this honestly changed everything about how we cuddle. Next up, let's talk about giving them a safe place to, go. For years, I used to think the best spot for the litter box was somewhere out of sight, tucked away in a closet or a dark corner, basically wherever was most convenient for me, not for my cat. Yeah, my view was that I was giving him a nice private bathroom, but my cat's view? It was a scary trap with no way out. You have to remember, cats feel really vulnerable when they're doing their business. They have this deep instinct to be able to see their surroundings and have an escape route. Putting the box in a tight, hidden spot can make them feel stressed every single time they have to use it. And here's another simple but brilliant rule from the experts. It's called the N+1 rule. It's easy. First, you count your cats, that's N. Then you just add 1. So if you have 1 cat, you need 2 boxes. 2 cats, 3 boxes. It just gives them options and really cuts down on stress, making them feel way more secure. Okay, this last one, this was the biggest surprise for me. I was 100% guilty of believing the myth of independence. You know the one that cats are aloof, they're loners, and they honestly don't care if we're home or not. Man, I was so wrong about that. Because the science is really clear on this now. Studies show that cats form attachment bonds with us that are incredibly similar to the bonds dogs form, and even the bonds human babies form with their parents. They see us as their safe space, their rock, and they really can get lonely and anxious when we're gone. They just don't show it in a really obvious way. And because they're so subtle about it, it's easy to think they're fine, but they do miss us. So now, I make a real effort to reconnect when I get home after a long day. The first thing I do when I walk in the door is just sit down. I give my cat 5 minutes of pure focused attention. It's such a small thing for me, but I can tell it makes a huge difference to him. So when you put it all together, you realize the biggest lesson I learned wasn't just a list of do's and don'ts. It was about changing my whole perspective. It's about really trying to see the world through your cat's eyes. You have to remember, you're living with a tiny little predator, and their world is so very different from ours. Honestly, learning to see things from his point of view has made our relationship so much stronger and so much better. So I guess I'll just leave you with this question to think about. After hearing all this, what is one small change you can make, starting today, to better understand your cat?